Welcome to the second session of VALS typology, and in this session me Dr. Shravanti Mukherjee will be presenting VALS TM typology to you. So, as mentioned, the learning objective is the VALS TM typology of values and lifestyle. VALS TM typology is the most recent one, and from SRI International, this has been taken up by Strategic Business Insights, and they have divided the US adults into 8 distinct types or mindsets, using a specific set of psychological traits and key demographics that drive the consumer behavior. Now, in the US framework, a graphic representation of VALS illustrates 8 different types of behavior based on 2 critical concepts of understanding consumers' behavior. One is primary motivation, another is the available resources to the customers. Now, the combination of motivation and resources, this determines how a person expresses himself or herself in the marketplace as a consumer, and this is the basic difference between the VALS initial original typology and VALS TM typology, because in VALS TM typology the customer segments are as usually defined into different segments based on their life values and lifestyle, but with that here they have incorporated 2 important the domains or determinant of consumer behavior. One is the motivation, another is the resource, as 2 dimension of determining these segments. Now, the VALS research in other countries also shows basic psychological motivations such as self expression and achievement, which are common across the culture, but the way they express the achievement or the way they show their status symbol, this might be different. Maybe in some society the status symbol may be defined by buying expensive cars, and in the other society it may be defined by buying expensive jewelries. This is just an example. So, other VALS framework other than US, they have already developed it for Japan, Venezuela, Nigeria and some other nations. So, in VALS TM typology, which has been adopted, which are discussing from the strategic business as developed by Strategic Business Insights, and here we can see one is the high motivation and high resource area, which they are writing as high resolution and high innovation, and here also we are writing as low resolution and low innovation, because this particular site is basically of the low income and low motivation kind of segment. And now, they have talked about 3 primary motivations. These 3 primary motivations are ideals, achievement and self expression. So, very clear how many dimensions we are using here to segment the customers based on values and lifestyle, but we are using some additional dimensions under which we will segment the customers on the basis of values and lifestyle. And what are these other peripheral determinant under which we are dividing the lifestyles? So, these are basically, one is the motivation, second is the resource, and third is the the extent of innovation, but mostly it is the motivation and resource. So, they have divided, as we can see here, 8 different typologies. And also motivation has been divided into 3 categories. One is ideals, achievement, self expression. Now, the first category which you are seeing here is towards more of idealistic. Second, here achievers and strivers, which we see here, they are more of achievement oriented, and the other one is the self expression oriented. These are the experiencers and the makers. Innovators on the other hand are very high resolution, high innovation, high resource and high motivation kind of customer, and survivors are at the bottom, those who are very low, those who have very low resources, therefore very low motivation, and I mean therefore the consideration of this ideals, achievements and self expression is also not so clear for them, because they are very low motivated. So, first coming to the first category, that is innovators. Innovators are very successful, sophisticated, charge taking people with very high self esteem, and they have abundant resource. So, they exhibit actually all three primary motivations. So, that is why we put them in the middle, because all these are very high for them. They are idealistic, they are achievement oriented, and their self expression is also very clear. They are the change leaders and are most receptive to the new ideas and technologies. Innovators are very active consumers, and their purchases reflect the cultivated taste for upscale niche products and services. They are less receptive to promotion, rather they give preference to their own idea and choice, because not only they are very much informed, but also they have abundant of resources. So, they want the best from the society, and best means say they want to go to a 7-star hotel. So, like this they want boutique designer dresses, and they may buy dresses from the designers Sabyasachi Mukherjee or Agnimitra Paul kind of people, which might be very expensive, but these are very standalone kind of designs, and they make very high number of financial transactions. So, banks and financial institutions, they may be considered as the priority customers. Image is very important to the innovators, as not an evidence of status or power, but an expression of their taste, independence and personality. That is why when we say in Reed and Taylor reach the height of 6 feet 2 inch, we are not talking exactly about the price of the thing, but it shows that kind of elegance which Mr. Bachchan is having. That is how the advertisement has been made. Innovators are among the established and emerging leaders in business and government, and yet they continue to seek challenges. This may be like people like Mukesh Ambani or maybe Dhirubhai Ambani kind of people, those who are already the business leaders. And say if they are making a house of 27 storage or a very exclusive house and gifting it to the family member, so which means so which may be a very costly, but that might be very exclusive. It is not only to show their status, but also to show what kind of taste, what kind of aesthetics they have, what kind of aesthetic architecture they are using to plan that kind of building. Then now we move to VALS typology, the second one, that is little idealistic. They are the thinkers, this side. Thinkers are also, they are very much motivated by the ideals, like what to do, what not to do, should, ought to be, like this. They are very mature, satisfied, comfortable and reflective people who value order, knowledge and responsibility. And they are very well educated, and they seek out for active information for their decision making. And very well informed, they read newspapers very frequently, they watch news maybe, and they take an informed decision. They may buy a house in a very high rise, an exclusive apartment, but they will buy it after searching some information about it and after judging its fit with their requirement. And they have a moderate respect for institutions of authority and social decorum, but they are very open to new ideas as well. And they are high income people. So, their income allows them to make different kind of choices, but as I have mentioned, they are very conservative thinkers and very practical thinkers. They do not go by their impulses, rather they give priority to the rationality of the purchase. They think of the evaluative criteria like functionality, durability of the products in which they are buying, and usually they buy very proven products and very well known brands. For example, Galaxy S7 Active, Galaxy S7 SH of Samsung, these are water resistant. Maybe for this feature they are liking this mobile. Google is coming up with Pixel, which will give a very smart camera as well as it is an exclusive phone. So, that is why they may be and it can store unlimited photos and videos. So, probably because of this criteria or the functionality of that particular brand, they might prefer this brand. Coming to the next one, that is those who are ideal driven, but they are believers, because as you can see here, they are at the little lower end in terms of resources. They do not have much resources, moderate resources, but they are ideal oriented. So, like thinkers, they are ideal oriented, but they are conservative and conventional people, and they are the people with concrete beliefs based on traditionally established codes like family, religion, community, the nation, the way it performs, like Tata salt kind of product which says Desh ki namak, or the salt of the nation, may catch their attention. So, this, if you remember, very old ad of Bajaj scooters of Hamara Bajaj, that also used to show a very family kind of image. Cadbury's is coming up with Diwali celebration, which also shows how you enjoy with your family. Flipkart shows now the recent ads how you can give gifts in Diwali to different family members, especially Diwali crackers to the kids. So, these are basically like family religion oriented people, and they only will go by established brands. They can go by Flipkart, but they will think twice if they want to buy from shoppingclothes.com or any other not so popular websites. Believers express moral codes that have deep roots and literal interpretation. They have established routines organized large part around their home, community, social, religious organization. They are very predictable, and they will only choose the familiar brands and established brands, which right now I have already told you that they may buy from Flipkart, but they will be little hesitant to buy from a new web shopping site. They are generally very loyal customers, and although advertisement is a legitimate source of information for them. A very classic case for them I will discuss here is from the book of myself, that is the consumer behavior book published under Cengage. Here we have discussed a very specific case, that is the memory market for gramophones, and this is the market of the believers actually. It shows that the old artifacts these days are not only the collector's item, they have dipped down to the mass market also. Those who do not have enough resource, sometimes they also have been seen to buy some old artifacts or some old items which may not be so costly, and sometimes even if it is costly, but if they can if that matches with their emotions. So, this kind of product we are talking about a street seller in Janpath in Delhi, and there he has claimed that the gramophones are selling a lot these days. He said that he has sold large amount of rare objects to even strangers, like very old songs of say Sachin Dev Burman or Pankaj Malik, or these kind of very old songs which used to come in gramophone, or K.L. Saigal, or this kind of music, as these are getting sold, and prices are even from Indian rupees 3,000 to 10,000 based on their size and rarity. And this is a flea market such as those in Janpath in Delhi. These oddballs are no longer the cattle of selected vendors. This kind of things are actually coming up. That is why in Doordarshan also, in the YouTube also, sometimes we can see the old Mahabharata, the episodes of Mahabharata serial of the first one of B.R. Chopra, or Ek Chidiya, or those Dada Dadi ki kahaniya. This kind of things we sometimes we are finding in some of the websites which believers still like to watch, because they are very conservative and they try to actually emotionally connect with their past. Then comes the other one here in the segment of achievement. Here there are two kind of groups which we will talk about. One who have good amount of resource, they are the achievers, but they also seek achievement, and the other one is the strivers. They have limited resource, but they are also very aspirational. So, first we talk about achievers. They are motivated by the desire for achievement and their goal oriented lifestyle they are having, and they have a deep commitment to career and family. Their social lives reflect their focus and are structured around the family, their place of worship and work. Achievers live conventional lives and are politically very conservative and respect authority and status quo. They are value conscious, they are predictable, they are stable over risk, they do not want to take risk actually. They have an urge for intimacy and self discovery. With many wants and needs, achievers are active in the consumer marketplace. Now, image is very important for them. They favor established prestige products and services that demonstrate their success to the peers. That is why they may buy a watch like Titan Raga, they may buy products like J. Hampstead, which will show them as a man in a different league, or sometimes it could be like the complete man image of Raymond's, where a father in one particular ad I would like to talk, which shows that a father is attaining the a Guezo like kind of program of the or fancy days competition, these days we call it, of the kids, and there where all other guardians are busy in capturing selfie, he is just enjoying the show and paying attention to the kid instead of capturing the photos. So, which shows that at the end when he stands up, his attire, his elegance and the way he has behaved shows him as altogether a completely different man in the society and a very complete man who cares for his family, but at the same time he is demonstrating his accomplishment in the society. Now, we move to the other category who are achievement oriented, but they do not have enough money. They are the strivers. They are trendy, they are fun loving, but they also seek opinion and approval from others. For them, money defines their success. They favor stylish products that emulate their purchases of people with greater material wealth. So, probably whenever the economy was liberalized and that and particularly the banking acts were reformed. So, after that time the bank loans were available to the middle class people, those who used to aspire for a better car or those who used to aspire for a better apartment. They started taking loans and they used to buy those kind of products, and they will keep on in a hire purchase scheme. So, these are this kind of people, and also different smaller packs or pouch packs could be targeted to them, because they would like to have different buy different brands, but they may not have enough resource to buy it. So, this might these pouch packs of different brands might help them. Those strivers are very active consumers before shopping, and is both they consider shopping as a social activity and also as an opportunity to demonstrate to peers that they have the ability to buy. Though they will frequently go to the market and buy Dove or Sunsilk, but in pouch bags maybe. So, as consumers, they are very impulsive, as their financial circumstance allows. They will, whenever they get a bonus or some incentives, they will try to buy some expensive clothes, some stylish clothes, some stylish shoes, some bags or something which will demonstrate their status in the society. But frequently they cannot do that. Whenever they get some additional income, so they may engage in conspicuous consumption. In VALS typology, the other part is the self-expression oriented people. Here we have two classes, one is the experiencers, another is the makers. Experiencers are having a good amount of wealth and makers do not have so. So, experiencers quickly become enthusiastic about the new possibilities, but are equally quick to cool. They are basically the early adapters or the innovators in the diffusion process. They seek variety and excitement, trendy, upbeat, risky. Their energy level finds an outlet in exercise, sports, outdoor recreation, social activity. They get membership of different clubs they may they may go for a cricket match which may have a costly tickets, but the momentary fun and excitement of half a day may encourage them to buy a ticket and enjoy the game. The experiencers are avid consumers, and they spend a comparatively high proportion of their income on fashion, entertainment and socializing. They will frequently call for parties or attend parties. They can go for discotheques, clubs, nightclubs maybe, and their purchases also reflect the emphasis that they place on looking good and having cool kind of stuff. Now, the next part is the makers. Makers, they are also looking for self expression, demonstrators, but then they do not have enough resource. So, they are also motivated, but they express themselves and experience the world by working on it. They actually work on, rather than what we were seeing in this case for experiencers, that they spent more on fashion and entertainment socializing kind of thing, but these people try to express them in building a house or raising their children. Maybe they won't like to send their children to an expensive school, or they try to fix up a car of medium range and maybe putting some accessories in it and canning the vegetables, and have enough skill and energy to carry out their projects successfully. They live within a very traditional context of family, practical work and physical recreation, have very little interest in what lies outside that context. So, makers are very suspicious of new ideas because they have lack of resource. So, their perceived risk for new adoption is also very high, and they are also suspicious about the large institutions such as big businesses. They actually are they give birth actually to the street culture or the footpath sells, the hawkers, because from there they may buy different kind of glossy dresses or good looking dresses where they can have a good bargain and all this, but at the same time they will not go to big shopping malls and all this, because they perceive that that could be little expensive and maybe out of reach for them. They are unimpressed by very much materialistic possession, but other than those with a practical or functional purpose, because they prefer the value of luxury, but while buying they will settle down in the basic products, which means they may like surf excel, but while buying they are buying will. In the VALS TM typology, the bottom part which we see is a very low motivation, very low resource, low resolution and low innovation. They are the survivors. They live in a very narrowly focused life because they have very few resource to cope up. They often believe that the world is changing too quickly, and they are very comfortable with their familiar products and primarily concerned with safety and security. They focus on meeting needs rather than fulfilling desire, and being old people, they do not show any much motivation to try out new things at all. They may have one landline connection, may not be too eager to buy a mobile phone. Even a mobile phone, they want buy a very basic mobile. They will not like to buy a smartphone kind of thing. They will not be so much internet savvy, and basically very cautious customer. They represent a very modest market for very most products and services, but very loyal to whatever brands they are consuming, especially the toothpaste or biscuit or whatever basic brands they are buying. They keep on buying that, they do not want to experiment as such. So, this is how we talked about the VALS TM typology, which talked about mainly the 8 different lifestyles of the customers, and therefore, we complete here, and in the next session we will discuss about the application of lifestyle in marketing.